Hey guys, you're watching the 4 a.m. Talks podcast. I'm your host Manoj Velu and you're listening to the 4 a.m. podcast. So, let's get right into this topic. What is the topic that I'm going to talk about today? Today, the topic is something that's going to touch you very deep and it's going to make you, you know, get to that particular topic, think about it, and you are always going to reflect back on this. Remember, I have done so many episodes till today. If you have not reflected back, please go watch that episode again and reflect so that you could become better. You will always become better if you watch that episode, because you will figure out a lot of things which I didn't tell you. You will have that thought of perspective, and you would always go out and reflect and become better. That is the most important thing from that I want you guys to take away and become better. So with that being said, let's get right into this topic. Today's topic, I'm going to talk about something that is very important for you, not only for you, but it helps you as a person, not only as a person who goes after something, but you would reflect back and you would say, yes, this is what I wanted and I've got it. So this is the important topic that I wanted to talk about. Let's get right into it. Imagine John Carpenter. He is sitting down and he is having a conversation with his father. So John Carpenter, he's very curious, just like you guys, very curious. He wanted to always, have that deep, intense conversation with someone whom he really wants to, have, because he knows that his father has achieved something and he knows that he can learn from that person. And what a better, there is nothing called a better place than to learn with your mom, dad, your sister, brother, your grandparents, anyone it could be. So whomever you're feeling comfortable with, and if they have done something, you could always learn from that person. So just go out there and learn. Same way John Carpenter is trying to learn from his father. He says, Dad, I found an interesting stat. His father, out of nowhere, is suddenly listening to John Carpenter. He asks John Carpenter, what is that topic? What is that you have researched today? He says, Dad, you know what? Only 8% of the world people have gone on and achieved their dreams. Wow, John, what made you to research that topic? Dad, because I am going after my dream and I wanted to know what is, how many people have actually gone on and become, better, and why they've achieved that dream. How could they achieve in spite the majority, 92% of the people have not achieved? John Carpenter, his father, he's just said that, there are many circumstances that is going to define why they went on and achieved whatever they wanted to achieve. But what are you thinking about? Why did they achieve? What are the things that you researched about? John Carpenter is actually giving certain examples on his so-called role models, and the people whom he actually admires and goes after. His dad is really fascinated because he thinks that John Carpenter is really going after and trying out what it means. Now John Carpenter's dad is just telling John, you know what, John, I respect you. I know that you have gone on and you have researched about the dream. I'm really happy, but now it's your time to go out and do the actions that you always wanted to do. And why and what is that feeling that you have got when you researched about the topic of the dream? John said very simply, he just said, I wanted to be one among the 8%. John's dad was really fascinated by, and they were having this deep conversation. And John specifically asked his dad, Dad, why is that 92% of the people are not able to achieve their dream. I'm still searching for that. I'm having different scenarios, different perspectives, but I'm not able to, get that. So his dad also was giving some examples on why he was the people who didn't go out and achieve their dream had to give up on certain things. He said that they eventually quit at some point. People who have achieved their dreams, they never quit. They always believed that their dream will come true, and not only that, they went on and they put their work and they made the best possible result outcome to come out of by failing multiple times, learning and executing, but they never give up. So his dad said, people never gave up who actually won. That 8% of the people that we are talking about, they never quit. And he was so happy and he wrote it down. And now look at the intensity of the conversation. His mom, out of nowhere, she comes out and says, it is not only about that, it is something related to this, but I'm going to say you that those people, that 92% of the people, why they didn't achieve their dream is because they didn't want it badly enough. Now you're getting the contrast of both the things. One is to not quit, and another is how badly you want it. So these two are the key reasons. He wrote it down. So John Carpenter, no matter what happens, this is what his parents told him. Be honest with yourself. Don't quit. And if you're telling me the dream, if you're telling it to yourself, ask yourself the next question is how badly you want this. This is your dream. This is your life. The amount of time that you are going to put in is going to be tremendous. This is going to play the major part of your life will be spent on your dream, working on your dream, and you would always be hoping that one day your dream will come out, and it will come true, and you would be in a position to say that, what, I went out and I have struggled so many things, I failed so many times, but it didn't matter to me. I have, learned from that mistakes, and I have grown, and I made sure that I don't commit the same mistake again. And I always told myself that, I'm not going to quit. No matter what is going to happen to me, I'm just going to go out and do it. Now, this is the 8%. My goal, when I saw that, this is exactly me. When I researched about the topic called dream, this is the first thing that came into my mind. If I'm doing something that is going to help you in one or the other way, if it helps you to achieve your dream, then what am I doing is I'm increasing the percentage. It could be 1, it could be 2, it could be anything, but I am trying my level best to make sure that your dream comes true and you would learn something out of these episodes. Similarly, John Carpenter is going to do the exact same thing. He's going to figure it out. There are so many things that he didn't figure it out, but he's going to just go out there and he's going to keep it going, and he would learn it as he goes on, and once he does it, he would be able to reflect back, and he would always become a better person. So this is John Carpenter, his family, and all these conversations. How many of you, I'm asking you, truly, people, whoever you're watching this, you have come for the first time, you have come this for the 44th time, it doesn't matter. Just answer this to yourself. Are you having these kind of conversations with your closest friend? Are you having this conversation with your parents? Are you having this conversation with your siblings? Are you having this conversation with your teacher, with your mentor? I know for sure that there has to be some sort of distractions in your life. I get that, but it shouldn't be at the cost of your dream. This is my personal, I would say it is not something that I'm going to advise. This is not there's nothing such called as advice from my end. I'm just going to ask you questions. How can we develop as a personality? How are you going to become better? So I'm asking you, how many of you are having this deep conversation with your, best friend, or the ones whom you always feel that you're so comfortable and you can talk about anything that you want, and they're not going to judge you, or they are not going to say, oh no, you're not going to do that. No, a truly common friend who's going to criticize you, who's going to say the good things that you're always doing. How many of you are doing it? I'm sure most of you are not doing this. This is the biggest thing that we always miss or forget, or we just omit, or whatever the adjectives that I can use that, because we are limiting ourselves and we are not being open. Even though we say, I am so close to you. If you're so close, why aren't you talking about your dreams? You are saying me that you are close to somebody, and if you're not opening about your dreams and ask them questions, what is your dream? Why you wanted to go after that? You know what will happen? You will learn a lot of things if they are going after something. It could be anything. It could be simple to you, but that could be something which is impossible for him, and it could be an achievement if he does it, and he considers that as a dream, and we should appreciate that and we should respect that. This conversation is going to be intense, and I know that, because I know for sure that I have to take this one step deeper to make you understand that it's not enough. It's not enough. If you're saying me that I'm working hard, congratulations, you are on the path. But the best thing that you can always do is to have these kind of conversations with your fellow mates, with your it could be anyone. And the most important thing is this is something which I've learned from he's one of my favorite persons I've ever saw. I didn't meet him in person, but I'm saying you that I've always been admired by his teachings and everything. The best thing one can do is to understand their purpose of life. Everybody are talking about how could we make this world a better place, and we are always thinking about others. It's good that we are thinking about others, the concern, all the things that you have for the other person, you're feeling for that person, all that is fine. But the best thing one can do is to understand what is his purpose of life. I asked this question for myself. I didn't know how to get that answer. Obviously, if someone is asking you something that you have never thought about at the first place, you would not be having an answer immediately, but that's fine. Now you have the question, what is your curiosity to find out? Imagine it's a max problem. If somebody who loves mathematics, if there is a problem, you are so curious and you're so animated, you're so you just want that and go after that problem, and you would take that as a challenge and you'll finish the problem. If you're not a big math guy, no problem. Same thing happens with your life. Whatever it could be, you are taking that as a challenge and you're going after it. Why? Because you feel that is the most important thing in your life. So I'm just going to come back. I have gone away from a topic from a little bit, because I want you to understand that all these comes later. The first thing that you need to understand is what is your purpose of life is all about. Now, how I found out the answer, I would tell that this worked out for me. It could work out for you, and you at least you will have an idea of what I did, and you could try to do that. If it works out, fine, else find another way to do it, but have that curiosity to always go out and find out your purpose. You know what, it's absolutely crazy, because if you have a clear path, it could expand. I mean, as you go, you would You would not only reach your dream, but you will go further. That is a whole different level. It's an elite level. That is a whole, new concept that I will talk about in another episode. But at least if you are going after something, you're having some sort of challenge. Yes, your life is boring. If you don't have a challenge, if I say you can't, run 100 meters in 10 seconds, if you're a sprinter, you're going to challenge me. Why? I'm just going to run it in 5 seconds, you would say. I would, the next, conversation would be, don't say me, show it. What is he going to do? He's not just going to run in 5 seconds. He's going to, have that strategy in place and go after it. Anything which comes to your field, you're not, giving it up. You're going, even if you're not able to do, you are making sure that you will learn that, execute it, fail, learn, again go after it. This is how the cycle is. Now, how to find the purpose. This was told by one of the monks called Dandapani. There was a specific question asked to him, how to find out the life purpose, one's life purpose. And he said, if you spend time with yourself, the more time you spend with yourself, you would understand yourself better. And he would give an example of, let's say, you want to know me, what you do. You're just knowing me as a person who's trying to do something in this you would always know me as a podcaster and everything. But if you want to know me as a person, what would you do? You would come down and you would have a discussion with me. Maybe you would have a cup of coffee and we would have a discussion. Let's say, Friday or Saturday or Sunday or any day, would spend 2 hours a week. And if we do that consistently for 3 years, I would know you better. You would know me better because we have that conversation and we are getting to know ourselves better. So the same applies to yourself. If you are trying to understand yourself better by asking yourself more questions, what do you like? What are you passionate about? What drives you? Why? Why aren't you not going after something? Why don't you have that desire to go after something and you want that badly enough? These are the conversations that you're going to ask yourself. And as you ask some few questions, I've always told this, these kind of experiences happen where you will be so focused and you would be having that understanding and you would love that process because you are getting to know about you. And that is the most important thing out of anyone. That is the most important thing. Before you understand someone, understand yourself. This is my philosophy. I would always, have this. If you say, what, I know this person will not behave like this in this moment. Why does he say that? Because he has understood him. He had spent quality time with him. He always knows what is his thinking, what is his motive and everything. That's because he has spent so much of time. Your best friends will tell you that, right? So same thing, you should understand yourself much deeper. What are your strengths and weaknesses? What are the missed opportunities that you always, wanted to go after? And why did you miss that? Is there something that is, regret? There is something, which is you're having that sense of regret of not going after something. Can you do it now? Is there a possibility that you can go after something right now? Start it from now. Is it possible? So all these things, and watching, very good movies is very important. Listening to good podcasts, like our channel. Just kidding. There are always, a lot of podcasts that you can listen to. These are the things, all these things are done is not because you wanted to achieve your dream. It's not about anything. It's about knowing yourself. If you listen to some of the topics, if you listen to any self-development podcasts, books, when you read something or when you listen to someone, when they ask the specific questions, how many of you have gone down and written that? I have asked you multiple times, but you would have, listened and watched multiple, different podcasts and books, how many of you have actually written it down? I know that I'm being hard on yourself, hard on you, but I know for sure that this is important for me to address this topic, really important, because I just talk about dream, dream, but I have to now, hit you hard so that you get it done, get that things done. What are the things, and the most important topic that I'm going to talk about the next episode, I'm going to tell you right now, the next episode is concentrating, looking at the smallest of the details and get the things done. These are the two things which I'm going to address it in the next episode, but this episode is all about making you understand that you should have a dream. Even if you don't have one, please do understand yourself first. Learn about yourself. Try to do all the things that I've told you in this podcast. See if it works out for you. Write down the things that you always wanted to do. Take out the things, reflect, and go back and improve. And if I had this, when I read that only 8% of them have actually gone on to make sure that their dream comes true. I want you guys to be one among that 8%. If you all become part of that 8%, 8% is going to grow, and that is what we want. That means that we are having that fulfilled. I wouldn't say fulfilled, I would never say satisfied as well. There's nothing called satisfaction and fulfillingness. It's always you being at that level of peace. When you say goodbye to everything, you should have that satisfaction of, not satisfaction, it's about the peace that I always talked about. So having that peace is important, and if you want that in life, just go back, listen back to you can listen this episode one more time, see what you have got from this episode. Go back, write it down. I've completely I understand the things that you're going through, but please write it down, because if you write it down, you are saying to yourself that what, I want this badly enough, and if you really want it, just go out there and do it. So with that being said, have a wonderful day, everyone. I'll see you in the next episode. As I said, next episode is very, very important one, and I'm going to talk about the smallest of the things that you always wanted to focus on, and that is the key thing in your life to achieve your dream. So that being said, have a wonderful day, everyone. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.